Hi, in this video we're going to be looking at laying the favourite, something that Michael's written a blog about, and you can find that on the blog page by looking under this button here. This particular article I'm going to refer to a number of times, so I think it's useful if you want to read up a bit more about how you can lay the favourite in horse racing and make that into a profitable betting angle. What I wanted to do is to highlight a couple of tables that appear in the blog. And these are these two tables here. And you can see that looking at some race data between 2021 and 2023 for both handicap and non-handicap races, we can see that the following is that horses in handicaps win 72% of the time. And we can see that the profit is -83 with an ROA of -0.23. And then in non-handicap races, if we lay the favourite here, we get a 65% win rate and we lose approximately 0.44% on our ROI. So you can see that just blindly laying favourites in handicaps and non-handicaps results in a small loss. So by putting a little bit of skill into it, we should be able to make some money. And then we look at the different, this particular article goes into Group 1, Class 2, etc. But I wanted to highlight Class 5 and particularly Class 6 races. You'll see here that the win rate is 66% with an ROI of a positive of 0.1, and then in Class 6 races we can see that the win rate is 72% and shows a profit of 1.28 with an actual over expected of 0.98. Again, these indicate that in the long term we probably would lose, and it's just the pieces of data that we're looking at for this particular example. However, with adding in some skill, we can make some money in these sorts of races. So how do you go about laying the favourite and finding out what you think is a race in which you want to lay the favourite? Well, the first thing to do is probably start in Class 5 and Class 6 races. We know that these horses are mostly inconsistent. They don't run the same race over and over again as opposed in the higher class races, and that's a good place to start. Because these horses, once they've won, they find it difficult to win again. Often the handicapper has raised them in the weights, and also they don't particularly run that well if they don't have got all the conditions that they require. So they may be poorly drawn, they may have not got the right ground conditions, they may be not running at the right track. These are things that we need to look at, and we need to have a different mindset to those when we're actually backing horses. For many years I backed horses relentlessly, and whilst I was doing okay, I have found that now laying horses is something that I'm getting more used to and finding more comfortable about. Yeah, the Race Advisor has a list of today's runners entries as an alphabetical order, but we can also sort by likely horse, a horse most likely to win. Now this may seem a slightly strange way of approaching horses that we want to look at to lay, but actually these top 5 here listed are those that appear on the strongest horses, and I'll come on to those in a minute. But this is a useful place to look at because these horses are those that are most likely to be bet by the public and often are overbet, and as a consequence they're poor value favourites, and these are the horses that we're looking to oppose with our lay bets. So I'd strongly recommend looking at those. So let's just have a quick look at the strongest horses over the last couple of days and see how they performed. Well, we can see here, I think this was yesterday or the day before, only one of the horses, the strongest 5, won. And as we know from the results that we were looking at earlier, some 70% of the lay bets will actually come off. And actually, when we look at the horses from another day, we can see here the top two horses won, one was placed, and then the other 2 lost. So you can see this is a really good starting point for looking at horses to lay. And in fact, I've been looking at the strongest horses for nearly a year now, and since the 7th of August, I've been looking to lay all the horses that I consider to be a no bet. So where I don't fancy the horse strongly to either win or be placed, I've been putting in a lay bet, and this is the result using the bet tracker that I have to date. So I've had 76 bets since the 7th of August, and you can see whilst we've had a slight dip in performance for some time, we have shown a good solid profit. And you can see that I'm operating at a betting advantage of 16% because the horses are being overbet, and I'm selecting them at a time when the odds are significantly shorter than they should be. So as this goes to show that the strongest horses is a good place to start with your lay betting, and I'd recommend just doing a quick 5-minute form read just to look at the other contenders and see where you don't think the horse has got a particularly good chance to win. So good luck with that, and look forward to hearing how you get on.